Good evening, popular astronomers, and welcome to the Friday night edition of Pop Astro Live. Just get my telescope eye in there. In fact, when was the last time any of us looked to a telescope? I think the last time I looked might have been maybe 3-4 months ago when we had that amazing weather in lockdown. So we are on the air for the next hour with, I've got to remember how to say this. Let me get my script up. The only live astronomy chat show in the universe to our knowledge. Because at first I was saying it's the only live astronomy chat show in the known universe, and terms and conditions apply. We don't know whether that is for real or not, but at least it is the only one in the universe that we know of. So good evening. I love doing this. It is a wonderful, wonderful Friday night. I'm down in Cardiff. Steve Fractals, the man with a million faces, says good evening. Good evening, Steve. He's got a cat for his profile picture there. Evening, SPA Vicky. It's Ian Baker who's had his hair cut. We have known each other for years on Twitter. I don't think we've ever spoken, have we, Ian? We're going to have to rectify that. So let me grab over my water. I've got National Fish and Chip Shop Day today. So I have got like this, they gave me this box of cod, chips, curry and peas, and it was so heavy that it hurt my hand carrying it back to the car. And you know what? That is all in my belly right now. So my liver is nice and hot. I'm fired up with loads of carbs and protein and whatever else is fish and chips and peas, and ready to broadcast for the next hour. We have got a wonderful show coming up for you. Hello, Helena. Hello, everyone from South London. I love this live feed. Always look forward to it. Thank you. I always look forward to it too. So do you want to know what we have got happening tonight? We have got... Well, I normally say plug the mug and then sing a song. But because I'm on the road at the minute, I didn't bring the mug. It's actually back at my temporary digs, and it's got garlic and tea bags in it currently because there's nothing else in there other than plug the mug SPA merchandise for me to put my gear in. So I did bring it down with me on my travels. It's just I didn't bring it to this studio location. What am I like? But if you want to go and get a Pop Astro mug or t-shirt, go to popastro.com and visit the shop there, and you can get kitted out with the latest SPA merch. We've got a whole new batch. It is cool. All the other astronomers will be clawing at your cup of tea and clawing at your t-shirt in a bid simply to touch your SPA merchandise or even rip it from your back. So this is your show as well as mine. We are a society, so it means that everybody can get involved, just like with our magazine. So please contribute in the comments. And please start sharing the feed as well. It really helps us when you hit that share button, because you never know, you might be introducing the SPA to a whole set of new people who didn't know we existed, budding astronomers, young astronomers, old astronomers. The more we can get on board, the more worthwhile it makes our mission. And for every share that you do, a new star is born in your honor. And after all, repopulating the universe is such a noble cause. So hit the share button. A star is born every time you hit the share button. I mean, stars have been born all the time. So, you know, it's neither here nor there, really. So this evening, we have got unequivocally the most forgotten female in astronomy. Who is she? We're going to find out later on. But I tell you, if I was to ask you the trivia question about who she is, I've asked so many astronomers over the years and they all go, what? No, don't know who she is. So she's on the way. Then Paul Sutherland, bless his cotton socks, has pulled it out of the bag. We have got Observatory or Conservatory. This is his idea. He's submitted a big long list of glass houses and observatories, and we're going to be asking you whether it's an observatory or a conservatory. Oh, the fun us astronomers have. We're such a wacky bunch, aren't we? Now, I know it's been cloudy, but please tell us cool things that you've seen in the sky this week. So start filling up our comments. Do you know what I saw the other day when I was on the train on the North Wales route down the North Wales coast? You know, one of those really low rainbows that clings to the sea. First of all, I don't know why they are so low sometimes when they're out over at sea. But as I was hurtling along in the train, the rainbow was following me. It was my own personal pet rainbow. So I made an awesome video of it. posted it on the atmospheric halo spotters page, which is really good. I know Mary McIntyre is really active on that. So tell us what you've been seeing. Let's have a look. Just shared, Madeline, a star is being born just at this moment because you shared the SPA feed. Sandra Grace, hello, good evening. I'm sure we could set something up, Vicky. Yeah, it's not difficult to use a phone, really, is it? Hello, everyone. Oh, we've had that one before, but because it buttered up my ego, I'll say it again. Hello, everyone from South London. I love this live feed. Shared. Olivia, a star is being born in your honor right now. So as you can see, your comments pop up on the screen. Tell us what you've seen in the sky over the past couple of weeks. Maybe you've just seen like an amazing sunset now. Maybe you've enjoyed photographing the full moon. Always beautiful. I don't think I saw it. I don't think I've seen a star for about 10 years. Mars is doing pretty groovy things at the minute, as is Jupiter, as I always call it, after the Spanish lady that I met in Ibiza who called it Jupiter. Jupiter and Saturn looking funky at the minute. So please drop us a line in the comments. What have you been imaging? What have you seen? Hello to you and Dempsey. Share the video and a star will be born. It might not be named after you, but it will be born in your honor. So on this evening's show, we have also got a book review and we've also got Space Pet of the Week. So we have got 3 tip-top astronomy guests for your delectation and observation this evening. Well, there's a cat. There is a cat here. Tigger, hello. I forget I'm in a house with a cat. I have not had a cat for so long. Come on, Tigger. I don't know what it's like to pick him up, but he's a very leonine looking boy. He's like a big old tabby. Hello, Tigger. Excuse me, I need some cat time. Oh, love you. You are lovely. Oh, I will reveal my T-shirt in a moment, but it is space and cat related. So this evening, our guests are Lucinda Land on Mars, Mark McIntyre, one half of the world's most astronomical couple, and Ian Ridpath, who is going to be chatting about the most forgotten female in astronomy. So we're now going to go over to, I was blown away by my first views of the Swan Nebula the other night. I don't know the Swan Nebula. I'm going to Google it. What is the Swan Nebula? Swan Nebula. Thank you. Let's have a look. Oh, I can see why that would blow you away. Wow. That's like a fancy old nebula. I'm not going to... Omega Nebula. Oh, thanks, Google. Oh, okay. So it's Messier 17, the Omega Nebula or the Swan Nebula. Does look like a swan coming towards you with its tail out, or a cobra. One of them. Maybe the Cobra Nebula. Good work. Shared. Mars was clear last night over Cambridgeshire. Thank you, Karen. And a star is being born in your honor because you shared the video. Great stuff. So now we're going to go over to Lucinda Offer, somebody who I've met on Facebook for quite a while now. And for some reason, I had the inkling that she lived in America. And now I'm not so sure. And I don't even know whether she's got an American accent. So here we come. Lucinda, you are going to be on the air in 3, 2, 1. Don't swear, whatever you do. Hi.
Hello. And yes, I am American.
Yes, I thought you were in different time zones. It's just because you're related to the RAS, so I wasn't sure what the relationship was.
Well, probably because I do live in England, so.
But are you an American in England?
Exactly. And I have met you, and I was wearing this shirt when I met you, which is
how embarrassing.
My shirt's a kitty as well. And
I went to the same t-shirt shop. I'm really embarrassed now. Where the heck did we meet?
Hey, at where the very first event in Cardiff at their new conference center.
The new thing. Yes, last year.
Yes, in Wales. Sorry, not Cardiff. You're right. In Wales, in Newport. Yeah.
Oh, what were you on the RAS stand?
Yes, I was. And I was also with Astro UK. So Tim Peake was there and doing some primary and secondary outreach. He was giving to teachers that were attending as well. So
maybe, yeah, I did. I remember meeting Heidi Tiemann. She was on the RAS stand, wasn't she?
Perhaps.
And I know Robert Massey was as well, wasn't he?
On the, sorry, which team? Sorry.
I'm getting all my astronomy teams muddled. I'll just shut up now because I might get my groups muddled up. I remember that was a very good event, the Space Conference 2019. One of the best things I've ever done in my life.
To be honest, anything that has to do with being outside and being social with people, and you were so much fun meeting you that day. I miss all of that, for obvious reasons.
Now I'm starting to remember meeting you now. I say that. I say that. When you do professional business networking and you meet 300 people a day, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
anyway.
No. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. No, don't want you to apologize at all. Yeah.
No, it happens to me daily. People often say to me, "We have met." Vicky,
We're also friends on Facebook, Vicky.
Yes, I know that. My mum is always saying to me, "Vicky, you do know me. I'm your mother." What's on your T-shirt again? Let's have a look. You need to do the SPA T-shirt hitch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What have you got? It is a kitty in space in a spacesuit. I suppose I should stand up a little bit, maybe.
That's it. Go on.
But I think the sad thing is it's not British, it's American.
Oh, that's a heartbreaker.
I know.
I think mine's American as well. So tell us a little bit about yourself, because you sent me your bio and I was just like really jealous of it because your job list is amazing.
I honestly, I don't know how I got to here. Matter of fact, that's kind of one of the things that I've been recently kind of on a path on, is like, how did I get to here? And so I am the executive director of the Mars Society. I studied geology in my 20-somethings when I was a kid, but I was also a graphic designer. And another fun fact, I was a DJ. I catered to DJs in San Francisco. I used to sell 12-inch records, if anyone remembers what a record is. Yeah, exactly. I was called Disco with a K, D-I-S-K-O. I was born in California, raised in Silicon Valley in San Jose, California, where the recent fires actually happened, which has been really stressful for me. But everyone's good and on their way out, to bluer skies. I studied geology. I also got a degree in graphic design, and I decided I think I went to my first Mars Society conference back in the early 2000s, and it was just amazing. I got to meet education outreach people from NASA. I think I did some sort of contest, and I just had an epiphany. I realized that the best way to get future Marsonauts is what I like to call them, future human space explorers, is to become a teacher. So I decided to use my skills in science and in visual communication, put them together to become a teacher, which is also what I do now, education outreach officer and bicentenary events officer. We're 200 years this year for the Royal Astronomical Society. We're just about to start teaching GCSE astronomy online. So we've never done that before, so I'm really excited about that. Let's see, Executive Director of the Mars Society. I don't know if you've ever heard of us. We're a nonprofit. Started way back from the 70s, graduate students at the University of Colorado at Mines. One of them was my former supervisor at NASA Ames, Chris McKay, Dr. Carol Stoker, Dr. Penny Boston. They all were studying astronomy and then became planetary scientists at NASA. Dr. Penny Boston's actually the director of NASA's Astrobiology Institute. And I got to work at NASA with Dr. McKay, and I know Carol. I did this amazing, lots of expeditions with them, and just, I don't know how I got to here, Vicky. But I love what I do. Obviously, I think just a passion and a wanting to make a difference for humanity. So I know it's really hard to love and appreciate humanity right now with what we're seeing around the world, but ultimately I think we're good people, and I really want us to create something fantastic on another planet. I want us to continue to exist. And so I think that, I love Earth, and I was actually born on Earth Day, which is the way.
You're just going to say I was just born on Earth. What a claim to fame.
I was born in Genesis on the very first Earth Day ever.
Oh, lovely. That's bloody hell. I mean, yes, I don't know whether I can say bloody hell, but I did. And I'll say it again. Sorry.
It wasn't me. But if you do the math, the backwards math, you'll realize that I was conceived during the moon landings. My father worked for NASA when I was conceived and born. And I don't know if I can say that on. But and now I head the Mars Society organization internationally, start chapters all over the world, and just so incredibly fortunate to be able to make opportunities and differences for people in India, in Canada, in Europe. We had a European Mars conference at the Institute of Physics last year in 2019. We had people from Europe coming over and networking here with Mars analog scientists and researchers in the UK. Learned a lot that a lot of the focus here in the UK is very biomedical, which is really cool. Very important thing that we need for humans to explore further beyond lower Earth orbit. We started the Mars Society UK after kind of sort of a 5-year hiatus. It was kind of on the down low, and we're reigniting it. A really young group of individuals, actually physicists and engineers from reaction engines, where I'm in Oxfordshire. Yeah, so they're really bright. They're very energetic, and they're on Discord right now, trying to create a community, a Mars community on Discord. We've got a fantastic website, marssocietyuk.org, and we're trying to do really big things in the UK with that.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. That's some resume.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. So why the obsession with Mars then? I mean, it's a pretty funky place, but why?
Yeah, I was inspired. I probably, the fact that my father worked for NASA, eventually worked for Lockheed. I had lots of experiences around space, but also I think it's kind of the next place for humanity. We've been to the moon. We've sort of been stuck in LEO for a very long time, and it's time to move on to Mars and beyond. We're only going to know these things by doing them, right? We tell that to our students. You got to do it to learn it. Just talking about it isn't going to do anything. And that's what I love about the Mars Society is we're very action oriented. Of course, networking and conferences is fun and great, but we take action. And so one of the things that we do is we actually put $1 million habitats in the Arctic and in Utah, and we have crews of 6 individuals live and work simulating living and working on Mars. And we've had research scientists, PhD, graduate students, but even teachers and journalists come out there and simulate living and working on Mars. And it's really about group dynamics and teamwork and getting along. Like astronaut Scott Kelly says, teamwork makes the dream work. And absolutely, I'm all about promoting teamwork with my students and doing activities and just doing activities, action, all of that really is going to make a difference. And I think that's what Elon Musk has been doing. He's been putting his money where his mouth is and making things happen, which which we've been looking forward to for over 50 years. So if you want more of that, and you haven't asked me yet, but I'm here to talk about something spectacular that I'm so excited to be chair of coming up this November, which someone mentioned earlier that they were looking at Mars in the night sky. And yes, so it's
then.
Okay, so it's Mars is in opposition. It's close to Earth in its orbit every 2 years, and this is that time of year, which is why we've had 3 launches. Is that right? The United Arab Emirates, fantastically, all these just amazing that 3 launches went. We had China and we had the United States all do launches, and that's because of Mars is in its orbit where it's coming close to Earth, and now those missions are going to meet up with Mars and hopefully land perfectly come February. But what's coming up in November, I am the chair also of the National Astronomy Week, and I'm so honored to be that for 2020. We're calling it Mars Encounter. The last time we had one was in 2014 in the United Kingdom, and it was focused on Jupiter. So this year we're focusing on Mars, but there'll also be other things in the night sky. How do you say Jupiter? I think
that's So I was in Spain, and I was showing the locals, the natives, the bright thing in the sky. It's Jupiter. Jupiter.
I love it. So Jupiter, and what else is going to be up there? And Saturn and the Moon, and we're going to have the Leonids somewhere in the middle of the week. I think on the 17th of November. So that's happening. Yeah, so it's happening from the 14th to the 22nd, starting from a Saturday on the 14th and going all the way back to Saturday, and then the Sunday the 22nd. So
wow.
Yeah.
So we have got, as you can see, there's a comment here from Sandra. She is a lovely member of North Wales Astro. And when I sat next to her, when I first met her, she told me of her love for Mars. I know how much she loves Mars. So Mars, you definitely need Mars. Did I just call her Mars? Sandra, you need to Martian. You need to hook up with Martian. You need to meet Lucinda and hook up with her on Facebook and get involved in National Astronomy Week and show the love for our little dusty red planet.
Absolutely.
What does National Astronomy Week comprise of then? Because I'm quite new to this.
So, well, originally what we do is we just have a website. Good for you. I do. It's warm this evening, but so National Astronomy Week traditionally just sort of gets people to organize and look up at the night sky. So View Jupiter was 2014, and we would create a website where people could post the events that they were going to hold. But because this is 2020 and we've been hit by lots of different things, especially this pandemic, COVID, we've decided we had a meeting and made a decision to move forward with this online, just as lots of many other things are happening with this are taking place online. So will National Astronomy Week this year. And we've got a whole week of activities planned. So basically every day we're going to have a science center or an education outreach professional do an activity from about 11 to 12. And we'll also probably have an observatory kind of share where they're at in the UK and what they do in the UK via pre-recorded video. So there's lots of opportunities for people to still contact us and get involved with that. And then there'll be a break in the middle, and we won't come back online until 6 to 8 p.m. in the evening, which we will feature speakers. So we have things like themes during that week, and some of the themes that we're going to have, I'm just going to pull them up here. We're going to have things like Mars sci-fi and Mars comparisons to Earth, and let's see what else. Life on Mars. All these different topics that we want to showcase. We're going to have speakers as well. We're going to have Dr. Anna Horlston, who's on the JPL NASA Science mission team for the InSight rover, which is taking the pulse of Mars and looking at earthquakes on Mars. We've just heard from Chris Lintott. He's happy to join us and also maybe host. So it's going to be exciting. We're looking at really high-level speakers. We want to look at comparisons of Earth and Mars and just talk about Mars and talk about maybe even climate and obviously looking up at the night sky.
Wow, there's so much going on. Thank you so much. Okay, on to more serious issues now. Are you ready to play Observatory or Conservatory?
Me?
Yes, you.
Conservatory.
Yes, you are. There's only one answer. I'm going to read out a name, and they're all quite snazzy names, and you tell me if you think it's an observatory or a conservatory. Okay. So let's go for Scion House.
Scion. Sounds like something in the sky. I'm going to say it's a conservatory.
A conservatory. Well done. I will not throw a rock through your window. You are correct. It is a West London conservatory. Okay, well done. So how about McFarlane? Observatory or conservatory?
McFarlane. Oh, that's tough. I'm going to go for observatory.
You are completely correct. Well done. I will not scratch your telescope mirror. So, and one last one. Anna Scripps Whitcomb.
Say that again. Anna Scripps?
Anna Scripps Whitcomb.
Whitcomb. Okay. I'm going to say observatory.
I'm going to throw a stone through your window. It's a conservatory. Okay. Well done. Well done. Now, we've had several mentions of cats this evening. You know what I'm going to ask next? Now, you have just bought 2 cats, which like about a month ago were little kittens, and now they're the size of ligers. Are they there?
No, I'm sorry. They're out with my in the lounge having their dinner probably, but no, they're not here. They're here, but not in this room.
How easy is it to go and manhandle one onto the camera? One of your amazing Maine Coons.
I could do, but can I turn my camera off to leave the room and come back?
I think you can, yeah. So you've got two awesome, brand new, massive Maine Coon Kit Kats that have got brilliant names. What's the one called? Hubble, and the other's what?
Hubble, Kepler, and Hubble. So
I'll
go grab
entertain the troops while you go and get a cat.
Okay.
So there we go. She's gone to get a cat. How exciting. Live catting. Where's Tiger gone? Tiger gone. Is he still in here? We could have the cats meeting each other. So it's made me think that we could have pet of the week, space pet of the week. So if you have got a cosmic pet, a cat wearing a cat t-shirt such as this, or a dog looking down a telescope, please send us your pictures and I will judge them. I will judge them harshly. So thank you for all of your lovely comments this evening. We have got Mark McIntyre up in a minute talking about radio meteor detection, which as a radio girl, always interested in that kind of stuff. Oh, hang on. Let's go put the cat full screen. Who's that?
This is Kepler.
Hi,
and
Kepler.
He only just turned 6 months old.
Look at I'm just going to show it to my friend Terry. Look at that cat. It's out-catted your cat. Look at those ear tufts. It's got radar ears. Jodrell bank ears.
He's quite long. I don't know if he'll show you his length. Come on, Bubby.
Have you discovered any exoplanets lately, Kepler?
He's a kitten.
How big do these things grow?
I'm afraid to know.
How many pouches does he have a day?
I think he's about 4 kilograms now. I think so. Yeah.
Wow. Lovely. Well, thank you, Lucinda. You have showed us and told us so much good stuff this evening. Oh my God, Anne Dempsey, Maine Coon. I love them. Very good. We all love a Maine Coon, don't we? Okay. It's been a pleasure to meet you again.
It was so much fun with you, Vicky. Thank you for having me on. And come to NAW. Come and check us out.
I will be there. See you later, sweetheart. Good night.
Bye.
Bright stars and clear skies to you. There we go. So that was Lucinda, who apparently I've met before, but don't have much recollection. I do remember that kind of nice, cool streak of hair in the middle there. So in a moment, we have got Mark McIntyre coming up. I'm going to do a little book review first. I've been sent books. I'm not going to do a full book review because that would be probably quite tedious, but this came through my letterbox the other day. The Phillips 2021 Stargazing. Now, the first thing we're going to do is the new book smell is great in this. It's got a lot of colour photographs, and I think it's the colour images that smell good, to be honest, because I've got one that's not quite as colourful and it doesn't have quite the same smell to it. So when I first got this, my spirits lifted because of this wonderful image. I'm guessing that is the Horsehead Nebula. I could be wrong there, actually, but I guess it is. This beautiful full colour Horsehead Nebula on the front, really lifting the image of the book. And then I saw who wrote it, and my spirits plummeted like Cassini going through the clouds of Saturn, because it was Heather Cooper's last book, along with Nigel Hembest. So yeah, quite emotional actually to have this beautiful little work of art. It's just such a stunning book. It always amazes me how many astronomers do not have a month-by-month guide to the night sky. Somehow I always end up winning these at raffles. I think this will be my 3rd year that I've been given a freebie, but I always have one in my glove box. So you'll see that we've got the star maps by the month, and then exciting things happening in the sky, and a calendar. So yeah, there are a couple of versions of these books, but the Phillips is just pretty much the gold standard, really. And we've got dark sky sites. Very good, very good. So that is 2021 Stargazing, month by month night guide. It's $6.99, ISBN 978-1-84907-541-1. I hope you took that down. Right, going on to Mark McIntyre now. I can see him in the corner. We're coming to you in 3, 2, 1, Mark. Hey.
Hey, good evening.
I hope you took my ISBN number down.
Well, I screenshotted you.
Very good, very good. Mark, we're always bumping into each other at cosmic events, aren't we? We've not seen each other for a while, though.
No, we haven't. What with things going on this year, it's been a bit different, hasn't it? So
it is, and your hair Your hair gets ever more long and beautiful every time I see you.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
It's really nice. I like it. I think bring back long hair. I mean, I can talk. I've had mine cut off, but only because it was looking weird. You've picked up the hair where I've took mine off. So how have you been over lockdown, Mark? Is everything all right with you?
Yeah, it's been pretty much okay. I mean, I work at home a lot of the time anyway, so for me, it's not much of a difference. We enjoyed the clear skies the first few days, weeks, but recently it's been a bit grim. So
I know, yeah. I suppose you just got to be so grateful when you do get a clear sky.
Yep, in this country, definitely.
Oh, Mark, it's great to see you. So, what's your involvement with the SPA then?
So I'm the meteor section director. I took over about a year ago now, so I mean, basically, I write the monthly reports. I collate the information that people send in, and I try to encourage people to do more meteor observing.
Right. Okay. So a lot of people know how to observe meteors. You look up in the sky. It's a fairly basic branch of astronomy that doesn't really need all that much technical knowledge, but the other stuff that you do now, tell us a little bit more about that.
So there's a couple of things. I mean, I think the thing that we were going to talk about this evening was the radio meteor detection, which is pretty cool. So when you think about a meteor going through the sky, it obviously glows, burns up, and that heats the air around it. And as it heats the air, it creates kind of a reflective layer. And so if you've got radio waves going up into space, they'll bounce off that reflective layer, and you can detect them at home with fairly basic equipment. And the great thing about it is that you can do it during the day, during the night. Doesn't matter if it's cloudy, doesn't matter if it's raining. You can still detect those meteors with pretty basic equipment. And it's got a lot easier recently than it used to be, because the sort of 10, 15 years ago, you would need to be a bit of a radio ham to do this. But now you can pretty much buy cheap equipment and set something up yourself very easily.
Oh, excellent. Okay, then. So what kind of equipment do you need for this then? What does it look like?
Well, you get a little kind of a little dongle that you can plug into the USB port on your laptop or your computer, which is a radio receiver. And you'll need to make a bit of an aerial to go with it. The little aerials that come with it are really designed for FM. But you can plug this little dongle into your USB port and then run some software on your PC, which is basically just a bit of radio software. So it takes the radio signal that's coming in from the little dongle and turns it into something you can see on the screen. And when a meteor is detected, you'll get a kind of a ping. You'll hear a little ping on the audio, and you'll see a little flash on the display on the software. And that's pretty much all there is to it. That sounds pretty simple. There's an article on the SPA website explaining in a bit more detail.
I thought you had to go on the roof of your house and build a big web and learn more skills.
No, that's the great thing about it. You do need to make an aerial, but it's not very difficult. It's basically 3 bits of copper pipe and a bit of wood nailed together, and then connected with a bit of kind of basically TV aerial type cable down to your little receiver that's plugged into the laptop. I've got my aerial inside the loft in the house. It's kind of nailed to the inside of the loft. The cable comes down through a hole that I made in the ceiling into my study, where it goes into a spare PC that I've got there running the software. And that's pretty much all there is to it. It just sits there all the time collecting meteors.
I feel like really thought it was going to be like some big ham bit of equipment and one of those big dipoles on your roof or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think years ago it used to be like that. You had to buy kind of specialist equipment, and you'd have to pretty much build the whole thing yourself. But with kind of the sort of modern technology that you can get now, it's way simpler. It is a little bit fiddly to get it set up the first time, but once you get it running, it just sits there and does its thing in the background. And as I said, the great thing is you can sit indoors, and you don't have to go and sit in the garden and watch for anything. It's all happening, day and night, rain or shine or snow or wind or hurricanes, right through the Perseids. Even though it was rainy and cloudy and thunderstorms, we were still getting detections from that equipment upstairs in the loft.
That kind of makes it a whole lot more satisfying, really, then, doesn't it? Because we're so frequently clouded out for meteor showers, but just been able to sit there with your Horlicks and Mary sat next to you. It must be right then cozy for the pair of you, wasn't it? Oh, Mark, we've got another one. Yay. You get the scoop on all the meteors that us poor cloud-ridden astronomers don't get to know about. So that actually brings out like a massive whole new dimension to enjoying meteor showers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you say, half the time we're clouded out. The rest of the time, it's midwinter. We're sitting in the snow. We're looking up at. I mean, Mary and I are quite often sitting out in the middle of the winter, looking up at the Geminids or whatever. But you can stay inside in the warm. You can detect them during the day. And one of the interesting things about it as well is that it can detect meteors that you can't see visually, so. When you go out and look at the Perseids, you're seeing the bright events, but there's lots of very small pieces that you just don't see at all. And actually, with some showers, it picks up more. So there's a few showers where there are more small pieces of dust coming in, which the radio picks up, that you can't see at all visually. So to the eye, it looks like a really weak shower, but to the radio, it can be really strong. And that's really interesting as well. So you can do a bit of science with that too, because you can actually pick up showers that you can't see with the naked eye. So so that's pretty cool, I think.
Do you know, the more I hear about this, the more I think I want some copper pipe and bits of wire nailing through my attic.
Well, there's an article all about it on the website, so you can see all how to do it.
Yeah, that's really good. That's so exciting. You have my full attention with this then. So what's your favourite shower of the year to go looking at then?
Oh, it's got to be the Perseids, mainly because
How was it this year? How was it for you?
Well, for us, it was thunderstorms. We had on the night of the Perseids this year, it was thunderstorms and rain and wind. We caught very, very few Perseids. We couldn't go outside at all. It was just too wet and windy. And it's been the same last year, actually. Last year we were at Solarsphere for the Perseids, and we practically got blown off the hillside.
That's the year that I couldn't go because we had a vintage tent. And we didn't want it to blow down, and that's such a real shame because then we've not had this one this year.
Well, you made the right decision last year, I think, because it was very windy.
And then there was that power cut as well, wasn't there?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there was a power cut halfway through, and we had the same problem back at home that year. So we've got some cameras sitting on the outside of our shed that are meteor detecting as well, and we had a power cut, and it took all of our systems out, so we didn't pick up very many there. The other favourite shower, obviously, is the Geminids, and that's the middle of the winter. And the problem with that one, obviously, as I said before, is you're quite often sitting outside in the snow. So.
Stonehenge there. So Mark, thank you. So how do people submit what observations do you want to see from people in the SPA directory then? Well,
I mean, either, what would be great would be if people have been out doing some meteor observing and just give me something like the number of meteors they saw over a particular period of time. If they've got time to write down whereabouts in the sky they are, that'd be fantastic too. But the most basic measurement really is just how many you saw per hour. And I mean, a few people send me in these reports already. It'd be great if I could get more. I try to include as much as possible in the magazine and in the reports I put on the website. As I said, the basic thing is the number per hour. If you want to get a bit fancy, you can look at whereabouts they are in the sky. You can estimate their brightness if you're quite familiar with the sky by comparing them to other stars. But no need to get complicated.
Excellent. Okay, so 3 things for you. I'm going to try and remember all these. First of all, stand up. What's on your chest?
It is a T-shirt from our trip to Glendo to see the solar eclipse.
That's a really beautiful T-shirt as well. What's that picture? Is that like the image of the state or something? What's the outline?
It is the lake that we were on the shore of. So Glendo's got an artificial lake in a state park in Wyoming, and we went there for the eclipse. It's right on the center line of the eclipse. So
what year was that in, Mark?
2017. So yeah. So this is the sun here, and this is the lake here, and we were kind of there, I think.
I don't think I knew you went to that, which is weird because I do kind of stalk Mary a little bit.
It was technically our honeymoon, would you believe? It was a year late. We got married in 2016, but we took my 2 youngest kids with us on our honeymoon to Glendo. So
excellent. So right, first of all, do you know who the goddess of astronomy is?
Do you know? I don't. I've got no idea.
Precisely. This woman, this poor woman, is the least known and underrated woman in astronomy. And I noticed that so many astronomers don't know who she is. When you consider astronomy is so full of mythology, the fact that we don't know who our own mighty God to worship is just bizarre. So we've got Ian Ridpath coming on in a minute to tell us all about her. She's cool. She's the she reminds me a bit of Mary, very much into the sky, a very celestial female who chose to study the sky above everything else. So we're going to be doing a feature on her later with her name as well. No one knows who she is, and I'm on a mission to make her posthumously famous. Great stuff, Mark. It's been an absolute pleasure. Oh no, wait, stop. You've not played Observatory or Conservatory.
I haven't. You're right.
You're right. Paul Sutherland has diligently compiled these. I only had to ask him 3 times for this list. Now I know what his editors must have felt like trying to get his articles out of him when he was a hack. Paul, have you done it yet? Paul, have you done it yet? No, I'm having a walk in the park were his excuses. But he did pull it out of the bag. Right, are you ready? Observatory or Conservatory? Big Bear Lake.
Oh, that's an observatory.
Well done,
that's
Mark.
A solar observatory, I think, actually.
Oh, I love the fact. I loved it because when we did Crater or Potato with Mary, she knew like practically the precise GPS location of the craters.
Yeah, she would.
Okay, what about Orchard Hill?
That's a conservatory, I think.
No, wrong. I'm going to throw a stone through your conservatory. That is an observatory in Massachusetts. And we'll go for one more. We'll go for Mitchell Park, Observatory or Conservatory.
I think that's an observatory.
Sorry, Mark. I'm afraid that your skies are going to be forever cloudy for getting that one wrong.
Oh, no. After my first initial success, I
your streak of good luck with just getting one right. Your winning streak of 1. Mark.
Never mind.
Give all my love to Mary. You know I love Murray.
Will do.
Yeah, thanks. We all love Mary and we all love you too. So thank you so much, Mark. Thanks for all your hard work that you do for the SPA. All right.
Love it to speak to you. Thanks. Bye.
There he is, Mark McIntyre, one half of astronomy's hottest couple, other than the ones that went on SpaceX, who are married to astronauts as well. So that's, you're in 3rd place after them. So this is Pop Astro Live with me, Vicky Duncalf. We have got, well, I just mentioned earlier that I'm drinking alcohol-free beer, by the way. I'm not getting tiddly. It's just I've eaten fish and chips with madras sauce and I'm thirsty now. So now what we're going to talk about is, well, first of all, tell us what you've been spotting in the sky this week or this month. Maybe you saw a particularly nice aurora. Probably not, but you never know. If you're listening up somewhere in the Arctic Circle, you might be in Tromso for all I know. Okay, we are now going to talk about the most forgotten woman, female entity in astronomy. I've asked so many astronomers who the goddess of astronomy is. Hang on, does anyone know? Let's see. Let's open up the lines. Yes, thank you, Mark. That was lovely. Thank you, Paulina. Thanks, Mark. Yeah, that was really good, wasn't it? It made us all want to get an aerial. Without Googling, tell me who you think is the goddess of astronomy. Does anybody actually know? I'll just sit back for a minute and wait for the answers to not flood in. Tumbleweeds, wind blowing, birds tweeting, nothing. Nobody knows who she is. And that's a crying shame, really. I feel like kind of raising her profile slightly. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this lady. Her name was Urania. She was a muse. Now, I've got this off a website called study.com. Hopefully it's correct. Now, fidelity was not one of Zeus's strengths. Greek mythology is full of stories beginning with Zeus caught in some adulterous affair with gods, mortals, or other creatures. But these escapades literally helped shape the world humans lived in. For example, Zeus once cut, and I'm going to get this name wrong, but I don't think she's going to mind. She's not around to hear me say it. For example, Zeus once courted the beautiful Titaness Mnemosyne. It's a lot of consonants together. Mnemosyne, a primordial being who personified memory. Yeah, but forget about her. Zeus went to her 9 nights in a row, and as a result, she had 9 daughters, collectively called the Muses. Each of the Muses became a goddess associated with one of the arts. 8 of them mastered arts closely connected to life on Earth. One, however, set her sights a little higher. That was Urania, the muse of astronomy. She was obsessed with the sky and the study of the stars. In fact, her namesake was Uranus, the primordial. Every time it makes me laugh. The primordial titan who embodied the sky, and also her grandfather. This was a very powerful concept in Greek mythology, as the sky was a place of divine power. Zeus, for example, was also a being associated with the sky. As the granddaughter of Uranus and daughter of Zeus, Urania's role, or Urania, I guess that's how you say it, yeah, as the muse of astronomy is not inconsequential. She contained some of the power and authority of her forebearers. She is most often identified by the globe or celestial sphere she holds. Like the other muses, Urania is depicted as a beautiful woman, of course, and generally draped in a flowing cloak. The globe and compass are used to identify her in ancient art. She often gestures towards them with a short staff. This likely reflects the connection between astronomy and navigation in the ancient world. As goddess of astronomy, she could read the stars better than anyone else and watched the movements of various celestial bodies in order to predict the future. Urania was also occasionally conflated with the planet Venus, a celestial body itself, and therefore with the goddess Aphrodite. Both were beautiful and inspirational, and Aphrodite was also said to be a descendant of Uranus. And I'd like to dedicate that to the wonderful Mary McIntyre, because that reminded me of you as I was reading it, Mary. So on to somebody who knows a little bit more about this kind of thing. We're going to go over to Ian Ridpath. Yeah, let's have a look. People trying to guess. Ra, Egyptian sky goddess. Sorry, Dominic, you're wrong. Paulina, no idea. Yeah, it was Urania. And we're going to go over to the man who knows all about it. Here comes Ian Ridpath.
Hello, good evening.
You've just got a loyalty card for 3 appearances on Pop Astro Live. The only person who holds that is Robin, and he doesn't count.
Yeah. No, we don't count him. No.
How are you, Ian, this evening? What are you up to?
I'm fine, thank you. You rather threw me because you've changed platform. You're on StreamYard now, aren't you? We were on Zoom before.
Oh, thank God, yeah.
So it's just as well I checked earlier, otherwise I'd have been completely baffled.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not on mute. Oh, David, very good, David. Thank you. Doing for
Doing,
that
yeah,
Pun of the Night award.
You look like very nice and well lit there, like a
I'm
true
all gloomy, yes, all gloomy. But yeah, no, I haven't got a. You said an Astro t-shirt. That's a cat with a Stetson you're wearing.
It's got a blimmin' Crab Nebula on it. Look.
Oh, and a shark.
It's not only a shark; it's a shark puking up a rainbow.
All right, no, I couldn't get away with that. But no, actually, talking about Urania, you did mention something about.
How do we think we say it? Urania or Urania?
Well, that's right. That's why I say. You say. I mean, she's not around to complain.
Bravo.
So, you said that she used the stars to predict the future. So really, she was an astrologer.
No,
she was an astrologer. I'm not sure. Well, of course, back in those days, there was no difference. Astronomy and astrology were the same thing. But Urania was really an astrologer, so I'm not sure we actually want to lay claim to her.
Oh, is that why she wouldn't take it under the wing then?
I don't know, but there was there is a history of astrology, a book called Urania's Children. Because it's about the followers of Urania who used astrology, including the Nazis in the last war. So I'm not sure we actually want to be associated with her very much. But
really, have I got back the wrong course there?
No, you're right. She is the muse of astronomy, but the name was actually used for a number of observatories, Urania Observatory. But what I know about Urania is that there was a set of constellation cards produced about 200 years ago called Urania's Mirror, and I've got some examples here. These are actually reproductions. They're not originals, but they were little cards. I'm not sure how well the lighting's.
Let's try and get
but there we are. This is number one. As you can see, it's got Draco and Ursa Minor, the little bear. And the thing about these cards is, good evening, Pauline. The thing about these cards is they had little holes punched in them. So you were supposed to hold it up to the light. And of course, in those days, 200 years ago, it wouldn't have been an electric light. It would have been a candle. So you could see the stars shining through the little holes. But of course, the danger was that holding them very close to a candle, probably a lot of them caught fire. So I can just imagine scenes of people saying, no, get a towel, put it out, it's caught fire.
And that's why there's only one set left in existence.
Well, there are some originals. They'll cost you a few £1,000s, but originally no one knew who produced them. There are 32 of them. You could probably play a game of Snap or Patience with them or something. But they were originally produced. There was no name, no author. It was coyly said that they were produced by a lady, unnamed. But Peter Hingley, the former, now late librarian of the Royal Astronomical Society, discovered that a man called the Reverend Richard Rouse Bloxham claimed to have been the author of these cards, Urania's Mirror. No one knows quite why he decided to remain anonymous, perhaps because a lady sounded more user-friendly, perhaps because being a reverend, it wasn't a very good idea to get involved in commercial activities. But his wife was actually the sister of a famous portrait painter. So it may be that she was the lady. It may be as much to do with her as him. And of course, as we know, down the years, a lot of husbands claimed credit for things that their wives did. But if I can go on to screen sharing here, can we try
this? Oh my gosh, can I hear the massive can opener opening some worms right now, because this can be a bit tricky. So have a go.
Right. Boom. Okay. Let's see if I can.
Oh, it's worked.
Can you see this?
We're a miracle.
All right, there we are. Now, this is there we are. That's the one I want. Now, this is the card of Bootes and his dogs and Coma Berenices, the hair of Queen Berenike, on the card from Urania's Mirror. And up in the top is actually there's a little obsolete constellation, which is quite interesting. It's the Quadrans Muralis, the wall quadrant.
We still have meteors, the quadrants, don't we?
That is the origin of the name, the Quadrantids. The constellation itself is now obsolete, doesn't exist, but that is the area which the Quadrantids come from. So the name still lives on in the Quadrantid meteors, just above the head of Bootes. Now, that is the card from Urania's Mirror, but the Urania's Mirror cards appeared 2 years after a star atlas produced by a Scotsman called Alexander Jameson. And this is his chart of the same area. Now, you might actually notice that they're virtually identical. So, in other words, whoever produced Urania's Mirror, actually, it was really a rip-off. Of course, they didn't use that expression in those days, but it was really a rip-off of Jameson's Celestial Atlas. And it may be one reason why the author remained anonymous was that he didn't want to be accused of plagiarism.
What's that flying wig down in the bottom?
There we are. That's Berenike's hair, Coma Berenike's. If I put the two of them side by side, there's Urania on the left and the Jameson Atlas on the right. And I think you can see that the one was really based, should we say, it was based very strongly on the other one. But you can find some quite nice things on these cards. You actually, looking back on old star atlases is one of the things I like doing. You can learn quite a bit about the constellations. Now, this is the card showing Hydra, which is the longest constellation in the sky. It extends about a quarter of the way around the sky. And down at the bottom right there, you can see a bit of Argo, the ship. And there is on the back of Hydra is Crater the Cup and Corvus the Crow. And above near the head is Sextans the Sextant. But down on his tail, there is Noctua, the night owl, which is now an obsolete, extinct constellation. But it was invented, let's zoom in. That was invented by Alexander Jameson, and the only place you will find it other than on the Urania's mirror cards is in Jameson's atlas. So clearly that's another clear indication that these cards were copied pretty much. So there's Noctua the night owl sitting on the tail of Hydra, the water snake. Didn't really catch on. Pity, quite like it. But zooming back again, if you look more under the head of to the right, under the coils, you can see Felis the cat. Now, it looks like a lady cat because it's 3 colored, so it must be a girl cat. And this was a constellation that the French astronomer Lalande introduced. Well, he invented it, and it was Johann Bode who put it on his atlas. And that is, unfortunately, that didn't last. I would have quite liked to have had a cat in the sky. I think, we're all cat lovers. There's several dogs, but not many cat. Well, there's the lions and lynx, but a nice domestic cat would have been fun. And underneath.
Right. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. Do you want to carry on? Sorry.
Okay. Where did you lose me?
There we go. Underneath the cat.
All right. Yes. Underneath the cat, we've got Antlia, the air pump. That was one of Lacaille's inventions in the Southern Hemisphere. That's still there. And at the bottom left, you've got a bit of Centaurus, because these cards, like Jameson's atlas, were only included constellations that you could see from the UK. There weren't any really far southern ones. One other I've just got to show you here. Now, this is Perseus, wonderfully bloodthirsty. He's got his sword raised. It's like a scimitar above his head. You can see that there's even some blood on it where he's cut off the head of Medusa, the Gorgon, which he's got in his left hand. And of course, in the head of Medusa is Algol, the winking star, the demon star, because it's called the demon star because it's in the head of the demon. But it's actually on the forehead. It is not in the eye. Now, one of the interesting things is that all the old astronomers, right back to Ptolemy, they placed Algol in the head of the demon, but it didn't mark the demon's eye. Now, a lot of people now think of Algol as being the winking eye because we know that it's variable. They didn't back then, but we now know it's variable. And a lot of people think of it as being the winking eye of the demon. But the old astronomers didn't see it like that. They just put it somewhere in the forehead. So the idea of Algol being the winking eye of Medusa, the Gorgon, is actually a modern myth. And you can prove that by looking back on some of these old on these old star atlases. So
maybe a bit of a cyclops as well as a gorgon.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure how I get back, Joe. There we are. Right. So here I am.
We're back in the room. We're back in the room. So Ian, Observatory or Conservatory? Are you aware of the fiendishly difficult rules of this game?
No.
So Paul Sutherland has diligently compiled a list of historic conservatories or observatories. I'm going to read you out a couple and we'll see if you get them right. Okay. So
go ahead.
They'll be testing your knowledge of how much gardening you've done versus how much astronomy.
Very little.
Adirondack. That's in Tupper Lake, New York. Adirondack.
This must be an observatory. It is one of those New England ones, isn't it? In the Adirondacks, yes. They're mountains, aren't they?
Blimey, I've never heard of them actually.
I'm going to have to pass on that one. Enlighten us all, please.
You're right. It was an observatory. You were completely spot on.
But what's the name of it? I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Apparently, that's the name of it. That's what Paul told me. And what
the
Paul
Adirondacks? There isn't an Adirondack. They're mountain.
Adirondack, Tupper Lake, New York. Observatory.
Okay, yeah. Right.
How about Eskdalemuir in Scotland?
Eskdalemuir in Scotland. Isn't that a dark sky site? If not, it sounds as though it should be.
So it's an observatory or a conservatory?
Well, it's an observing area. They may well have a conservatory as well, because you remember that Jodrell Bank have got an arboretum.
Of course they have. That should have been.
You can have both. You can have both.
That been the one to throw us both. So, Ian, thank you so much for your appearance this evening. It's always absolutely a pleasure.
Thank you. Do I get a gold badge, like a Blue Peter badge?
Oh, well, as you can see, I'm quite a fan of badges and things that go bling. Do we have SPA badges? We must have. They must have had loads over the years.
Yeah, I have got some which you have never seen.
Oh, I know. There's like the little metal pin one with the old logo on it, isn't there?
Yeah, and other things, and galaxies and stuff like that. Yep.
Brilliant. We just need a gold one now for Pop Astro Live. Ian, thank you very much for your time. See you soon.
All right, thanks. Cheers.
Bye. So there we go. It's 9 o'clock. It's time to go. Hope you all enjoyed the show. We will take your suggestions for anything that you want to see. You've had a guided tour of it. Of which one? The one that which one was it? The Adirondack. Where is that? David Graham. You would have, David. You've done all the awesome things. Okay. Good evening and good night. God bless popular astronomers. It's been a wonderful show this evening. If you would like to see anything featured next week, drop us a line and we will endeavour our best to feature it. It's your show as well as mine. So if you want to learn about something, we are here at your disposal. So I think that's it for now. Thank you to everybody who's contributed. Like, tag, share the video. Remember that every time you share this video, a new star is born in your honour. Could there be any more worthy reason to share the SPA social media feed? Thank you very much to everybody who contributed and good night. See you soon. Oh, thank you, Paulina. Thank you. That's really kind of you. Thank you for staying with us to the sweet end. Good night.